Hello everyone and welcome to the Franklin County Buzz. I'm Dick Wolf. We came to Franklin County High School this morning a little bit early in the school year. It doesn't start till August, but we're here to meet Mr. Roger Alsup, who's the incoming principal. And it smells like paint here, Roger, and you're in your work clothes. What's going on?
Well, they're giving the offices a little bit of a facelift, trying to warm it up a little bit. So we just have to put up with the strong paint smell.
Well, you were among many that were interviewed by a lot of people for this job. And one of the things Dr. Alonis told us when she was going to create a new job for a new principal, that she wanted to, I'm going to make sure I get this right, that she wanted to improve instructional leadership. So what did you bring to the table with all these interviews that sort of knocked everybody's socks off?
Well, I have 25 years of experience in public education, 19 years as an administrator, and I have been given a great opportunity to be involved in some awesome teams and made a lot of very good progress in some other schools. Went into a school in Dexter, Missouri, where I started out my education career and became middle school principal. Achievement was good, but they had kind of stagnated, and so I was with the other teachers and administration. I was able to kind of, I guess, lead our staff to make our school one of the top 10 schools in the state of Missouri. We were awarded a Gold Star, and not top 10 school district, but we were a top 10 school buildings in the state of Missouri. There are several thousand schools, and so I'm very proud of that. And from there, you know, the student achievement just continued to climb and just had a lot of very good successes. And then after my other experiences in a high school in Carruthersville, Missouri, when I went to that building, their annual performance report was around 60%. They were provincially accredited. Really, they were teetering on being unaccredited, and that was going to be a huge blow to that school district. And you know, worked with some other administrators and the teaching staff and put a good plan together. And within the 3 years I was there, we went from 60.7 to almost 95% annual performance report. So I've had those opportunities to be involved in some really awesome successes. And again, you know, those things were not, you know, things that Roger also did. I was part of a team, and I was able to, you know, resource the teaching staff and resource the other support staff, and we worked together to come up with some good plans and got complete buy-in from the staff and the students and the community, and had some great successes. As far as leadership, I served 27 years in the military, and 21 years of that as an officer in the Army, and spent 12 months in Fallujah, Iraq. So I have those leadership skills. I've had some very good leadership opportunities. So a lot of good experiences in a variety of different leadership positions. And I know Dr. Alonis was prior service military too. So I think she understands, you know, my training and the things that I've been through. And I'm just very flattered and honored to have the opportunity to, you know, to work here and be selected for this position.
I'm going to skip around a little bit. I was going to ask you something, talk to you something about culture, but what you're talking about with this instructional leadership brings to mind one of the stories I read about your history was that the Federal Emergency Management Agency wrote a book about earthquake preparedness, and then somehow you ended up as being selected to develop a curriculum for that as a science teacher.
Right.
Tell me how that worked out.
I lived in southeast Missouri, and you may or may not be familiar with that area, but there's a major fault line. It's the New Madrid fault line in southeast Missouri, and a couple of really significant earthquakes happened in 1811, 1812, and it's prone to, you know, having another major earthquake. And so we wanted to make sure that, you know, students and our school district was prepared for that. And so I did help with the curriculum for earthquake, because I was teaching an earth science class. And I have also worked with the Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, when I was on active duty in the Air Force. I've had quite a bit of training in disaster preparedness. As a Missouri Army National Guard officer, company commander, we've been activated for state emergency duty a couple of times. I did flood duty along the Mississippi River, so worked with FEMA during that time. Let's see, what else can I think of? You know, you just when you as a building administrator, you just have to be prepared for any emergencies, and you know, so.
So that's a good training opportunity.
Yes, absolutely.
So you've worked at essentially Southern schools. So you're here from Dexter, Georgia, most immediately, and you talk about Missouri. So you're in the center now of a place that's got a very strong culture, in Southern culture.
Right.
It seems to me you're well prepared for this. Is this kind of a dream job for you?
Well, I don't know if it's a dream job. I think a dream job for me would be a hot dog stand on a beach someplace. But this is an outstanding opportunity for me. My wife and I are very happy to be coming here. We love the lake. We love all the activities that the lake affords. We'd love to go hiking, and we're real close to that. My wife is from Chattanooga, so we have family there still, so we're real close to Chattanooga, close to Nashville. There's just lots of things for us to do. My family actually came from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and so you know, we when I was a kid, I remember coming over to this part of the state quite often just to visit some relatives, and I'm pretty sure I still have relatives there now. I need to look them up, but yeah, I'm very familiar with the culture, and very excited about coming to Franklin County.
Well, and that fits in also. Franklin County High School, it's sort of the flagship of the county. Of course, let's not neglect Huntland. Huntland is U.S. News and World Report, one of their favorite schools. But we have a reputation here where the parents do get involved. They do speak up. They do stand up. As the new kid on the block, what's your strategies for keeping these people engaged in school and keeping them happy?
I'm I want feedback. I want input. I want to hear from the parents in the community. I have an open door, and I want to hear their concerns, and that's always been how I've run my building, and it's just amazing to me how much good information I get from those meetings with parents and the input that I get. So I don't want to shut them out. I want parents to feel like they have a voice. I want parents to feel like they can come and talk to me and discuss concerns. So that's certainly that will be how I'll continue to work.
We've already mentioned Huntland School, and let's just keep going with that. They're a very proud community, Huntland, and it's the largest industry, as a matter of fact, in that city. The school system hires the most people. But it calls itself an exceptional school, and they've got U.S. News and World Report. How will you work with, as a principal of Franklin County High School, how will you compete with and get edgy with Huntland so that both schools are racing to the top?
I don't think it's a competition. I've been in counties and areas where there have been some fantastic schools, and that to me sounds like a great resource. If I have a question about something, that's some folks that I can contact to get some information. And in the school business, in my experience, people that are successful, they like sharing ideas. I don't think anybody really feels like they want to keep good ideas to themselves. And so I'm going to be reaching out and asking for help, and I'll have questions from for their administration and other administrators in the area. That's just like what I like to do. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, and that's not necessary.
Well, you'll have monthly principals meetings to do that. And Mr. Bishop is a fine fellow. I'm sure the two of you will get along, and he's found a real home since moving to Huntland. Done quite a job there. Over the next few weeks, you'll be starting apparently right now, and you're doing everything except painting today. You'll be assembling a new team of assistant principals to help you work with the kids. What kind of people do you want on that team?
I want people who are student advocates. Every decision we make is going to be based on what is best for the students, and I know that's a typical answer to an interview question, but that's really how I have always done business, and it just makes those decisions a lot simpler whenever you can narrow it down to what's best for students. So I want student advocates. I want I want leaders that are have moral courage. They can make those tough decisions and stand stick to their decisions whenever that happens, because it happens all the time. That's just part of the that's the nature of our job. And moral courage, and just have strong integrity and good communicators. Those are the kinds of leaders that I think we need in our building.
Yeah, there's the school has its own democratic system, the student body, student
Right.
president, and so forth. How do you intend to work with our student leaders to provide effective leadership here at Franklin County High School?
Just as I welcome input from the parents and people in our community, I welcome input from our students, and I tend to meet with them periodically. I want to get their input. I want to hear what their concerns are, and I found that I get a lot of very good information from the students. They're not bashful about telling me what they're thinking.
You won't find many bashful people in Franklin County,
Okay,
I
that's
don't
good.
think.
That's good. I'm pretty straightforward and direct, so that'll work perfectly for me.
One more educational question. This is 2016, and technology, we're a web-based company. Technology is running away with everything, and there's also new paradigms in behavior, and new paradigms in testing. It's all a new ballgame. So what are some of the strategies that you'll employ to keep that educational excellence up with all of these competing issues?
I came from a school that was a professional learning community, and I know that Franklin County High School is also a professional learning community, and I have found that to be very, very successful. And so I want to continue that. As far as the technology, I'm a huge advocate of the instructional technology, and also we want to make sure that we are providing our students with the skills necessary, technology skills necessary, that when they graduate from high school, they graduate from Franklin County, they're going to be able to go in any business or any career or college or whatever technical school, and be just as competitive as anyone else. As far as the technology is concerned, I've seen technology used very effectively in the classroom as an instructional tool, and I want to see that we're doing those things, and may need to provide our teachers with some professional development on how to effectively use technology instructionally.
There, at the last county commission meeting and at the last Board of Education meeting, there was some conversation about our bid to get a technical college here in Franklin County. And it still seems to be kind of in the works. We're crossing our fingers and looking for $6 million to do that. You mentioned a phrase earlier I want to follow up on. You mentioned that Franklin County is a professional learning community.
Right.
Tell us what you mean by that.
It is. It's kind of a philosophy that was advanced by a gentleman named Rick DeFore several years ago. I think it's done in a lot of schools in the nation. It's very common in Missouri and in Tennessee. There's just some tenets that we follow, such as what are we going to teach the students, and how do we know they've learned, and what do we do if they haven't learned. Those are the kind of things that we're looking at under the PLC model, and also collaboration is huge, and then we bring in these collaborative teams that are made up of teachers and students and parents and community leaders to help with the decisions and to help with the planning and make sure that we're not missing something. So that those teams are really important under the PLC model as well.
So it sounds to me like you're going to have a good time here at Franklin County High
I
School.
plan on it. It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
Well, and when you go to look out your window, you'll see Boiling Fork Creek kind of across the way there, and that leads to about 259 miles of beaches. And at low water, about 778 feet above sea level, there's a lot of driftwood stuff. So you mentioned your wife, so
Right.
I gather you're going to be taking advantage of that lake
Absolutely.
for fishing and kayaking and
Absolutely.
our trails, the
Absolutely.
Trail of Tears, so lots of
Right.
lots of
We
activities.
love to fish and swim and boat and hike. I play golf. I'm not very good, but I like to play golf, and I can't wait to check out the golf courses around here. But yes, we are going to take full advantage of those opportunities here.
Well, and I wrote down some of the things that we've talked about, and before we exit, I'm going to give you a chance to make a statement to the people of Franklin County that you're here, and what would you like to say to them?
Well, I've been warmly welcomed. I'm very happy and very excited at this opportunity, happy to be a citizen in Franklin County, and I'd like to meet more citizens and parents, and feel free to come by, and if you have any concerns or questions, I'd be glad to talk with you. So.
Well, and thank you for the interview,
Yes,
Roger Alsup. Is it Dr. Alsup?
It's Dr. also.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the interview. The best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And this has been the Franklin County Buzz. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again with another story.